Hey there, everybody. This is Silk. We are doing a turn recap for A View to a Kill. This is turn 16. Oh, tiny little bit of housekeeping on my own part here. I had the UK at $47, but we figured out that I actually undercounted my income by 2 back on turn 15. And that led me to undercount it by 2 again on turn 16. So the UK actually has $4 more. So they're at 51. Yay for that. You guys, was there anything else in the previous turn that we had to figure out? This guy's here. I don't think so. No, if I think of anything, I'll let you know. So, let's kind of talk about what's going on. So, kind of the first thing we're going to jump right into, really, is the points situation. This is turn 16. Game can potentially end next turn. So now, like money and territory and all of that, while it's still important to kind of have points is something all that matters. And as the die roll gets higher, that's just the pressure on that is just going to get higher and higher to just grab whatever points you can to try to force a tie or get out of a tie or whatever. So the Axis are at 7, the Soviets are at 5, the Allies are at 5, but the Soviets are in a much stronger position. They are probably still in the strongest position of everybody. Well, the Germans definitely threw a wrench at them when they did this up here. We'll get into that in just a minute here. Let's just go over the points real quick. So the Germans have their core 5 victory cities. Paris, Berlin, Rome, Tokyo, Nanking. As far as the Axis is concerned, those 5 cities are theirs forever and ever, kind of as a concept. If you lose them, you're kind of losing the game. Then they got 2 more. You got Atlantic Wall here, and then they've got Kido Butai from the Japanese. Of those 2, the Kido Butai is definitely the stronger point to keep. But in many ways, the Axis are going to need to either keep the game down in the muck, where a 6 or 7 point total is going to win, or they got to get the game over right away. And they don't have any control over, obviously, whether it ends right away. I mean, the die is a die. If it rolls 1 or 2, game ends next turn, unless we have a tie. So the Axis are definitely leaning for a quick game here. Pretty normal. Axis are usually winning after 17. A handful of times they're not, but usually those are blowout games. The Axis aren't winning on 17. They got stomped earlier. You can probably go see Snake Eyes for a decent example of that. You can see my poor Japan is about massively off schedule and what happens there as an example of the Axis kind of getting off kilter. This Axis has not been off kilter. They have steadily held their points. They kind of gave up on Spain. They didn't really ever make any major push to get it. Kind of moved to a sort of the status quo with the Soviets. The Soviets were happy to meet that and counted it as kind of a win on their side. So that point came off the board, really. Lebensraum is crazy hard to score. So that really isn't available for the Axis, really ever. But this game in particular, Soviets have way too many troops. And then, deliberately from the Allies, we put quite a bit of pressure, of course, on Japan. And, you get to the point where Japan's gonna hunker down here because there's a massive U.S. fleet coming. The British fleet's gone, of course. They were able to kill it, but kind of the price of doing that is that it let the British ground forces kind of get control here. And if he wants to try to come down here to change any of this, there's no more points down here. He would have to win all of this, and that's just not feasible in the time allotted. So Japan's gonna be mostly playing defensive at this point, just trying to keep their Kido Butai point going. Which gets interesting, because if battleships start taking damage on the Japanese side, that Kido Butai can get threatened. And so the U.S. can kind of leverage that a little bit. If they can force a fight, It can somewhat, even in a loss, you can kind of win if you do enough damage to the battleships that the key to battalion falls off. Or in a really good world, you do damage to all of them and you flip it to Big Blue Fleet. So the Axis are mostly stuck in the 6 to 7 range. The Soviets, who I currently think have the strongest position, even counting all the shenanigans, so long as they have all their cities, which they do for now, but not much longer, that's 4. At least where they are right now is 4. Because they got 1, 2, they get propaganda war for having all their cities. Actually, it's called rapid industrialization now, not propaganda war anymore. So that's the point. They've already earned their tech point. Poor U.S. is still 2 successes away. God knows when we're gonna get that. And then they're halfway here. They got this. As soon as they take Warsaw, this is 2 points, and it gives them more troops here and a fortification here. So you're going to see a conflict here. The Germans are going to probably do their best to hold it, but I think they can get to about 40, give or take, and there's 70 units here. Like, this is just too big of an army for them to deal with. It's kind of what it comes down to, really. Defending Warsaw help, though. Like get your city bonus, and you can. They may kill all 30-something infantry, but Soviets should win that. That'll unlock 2 points, and that gets them to 6. And they had already controlled Helsinki, so that's 7. But rapid industrialization is definitely under threat. This army here can sack Leningrad, probably. Not very well, though. He's it's kind of instinct at this point, but I think if he wins that fight, he wins it with 8 to 10 units. If the dice are nice to him, maybe it's 15. And if you won it with 15, that might hold. But there's militia on this board that you guys aren't seeing. There's militia here and here and here. There's actually some tanks I got to put on the board there too. I haven't updated yet from my Russian stuff. Soviets will win Leningrad back if he fights for it, I think. So you may see him do something else there. But he only has to get either of these, and this one obviously isn't hard to get, and hold it for 1 turn. And that, just for that 1 turn, would knock the Soviets back down. And so instead of having 7 points, they would have 6 points. And if the Soviets have 6 and the Axis have 7, and the Axis roll a 1 or 2, game ends, Axis victory. Even though they're kind of on the cusp of disaster, everywhere else. The other spot that the Soviets won is this. That's their 8th point, which is why you saw me lend-lease an infantry there. I'm trying to at least slow that down a little bit. And you might see him. He may split units off of this to come down here. I don't know if he will or not. Problem he runs into is that if this army gets broken too badly, the Germans have so much industrial capacity right here. They could build 15 advanced mechs in 2 turns a row, and suddenly there's 30 advanced mechs coming. And if this army loses all of its infantry, it suddenly only has the motorized and the mechs, a attacking force of mechs could take them out. Especially if some of these guys get away and come back home. You can see that too. So that's definitely the stress point, I think, on the board by far right now is right there. The Allies will have the option to take away, likely, the Atlantic Wall. It's just not quite. There's plenty big army here that can strike back, but defending it's not very easy because there's so many targets to choose from, even as he's putting the forts and the guns down. That if the Allies decide they want to take it, they'll take it from him. Again, they may only hold it for 1 turn, but if that forces a tie, they'll do that probably. Although it is only 1 or 2, so they might not. We might take the chance and roll the die. I'm a little riskier than that than some people. That'll be something for Campbell and I to figure out as to whether we're willing to risk the die roll ending or not. China, of course, is a mess. You'll see, all sorts of fighting's going to happen up here. Japan's reinforcing Shensi, but at the same time, that's where the main army's moving to. I got to update that too. I got to make another army for it. There's going to be 3 army markers up here. That's the way this board's sitting. I got to split that because some of these guys are here now, and some of these guys are there now. So we got to go do that. They're not real close to evolving yet. There's just kind of too much stuff in the way, but you might see it. Other big point the Allies are trying to hold on to is triumph of capitalism. If a little bit of why when you saw the Americans go into Norway way up here, it was a $4 flip. It was minus $3 for Germany and plus $1 for us. We like $4 flips. But at the same time, between those $2 there, that netted $2 more for the U.S. And we're trying to stay at double the Soviets' income. That's why GBR is working so hard to leverage its income. Because of the state of Malta, we kind of need every point we can scrape by, especially given that the U.S. tech roll point looks unlikely unless we get a really lucky streak here. That's about it, I think. Current score, 7-5-5. You may see it 7-7 next turn. You might see it 6-6-5 next turn. You might see it 7-6-5 next turn, is my current guesses. There's a chance it could be 6-6-6. The Allies could score a point if they got lucky, but we'll see how we get there. That's all we got. If you guys had any questions, just let me know. And I'll probably see you, I bet, tomorrow. I bet you Japan probably posts tomorrow, and I might post tomorrow night. So we'll see. If not, it'll be the next day. But take care, everybody. Have a great day.